Hey everybody, I'm Ethan Flannery coming back with you. We're going to be doing a full body workout today. We're going to start with a warm up and we're going to get right into that. So I want you guys at home to join in with me as we go through this. First one things first, we're going to take your thumbs, press them back, take a deep breath. Then you're going to take one hand, bring it across your body, grab your elbow and pull it into your chest. And you can also work on your grip while you do this. So you're just going to squeeze and release. And to the other side. And then we're going to bring it all the way up top, so you're going to raise your hand straight up, pat yourself on your back, and then you're going to kind of push your elbow up, or you can reach back around and pull back. And to the other side. And release it. Then we're going to take one hand, you're going to bring it forward, grab your fingers, pull them back towards you. And to the other side. Good. Alright, now we're going to start getting to our lower body stretches. So the first one we're going to do a standard toe touch. So when you do this one, you really want to make sure your back is flat. You don't really want to round that as you go down or anything like that. So you're just going to be right here. Come down, lean back into your heels. You'll feel that your hamstrings. And then you're going to reach down and try to touch your toes if you can. Then we're going to take one heel, step it forward, and you want your heel right in line with your big toe, and you're going to grab your toe and pull it back. And to the other side. And set it down. The next one we're going to do, we're going to step our feet out a little bit further than shoulder width apart, and we're going to go back down towards the ground, and we're going to actually go over to one side. So you're going to touch your toes. If you want more of a stretch with this one, grab your calf and pull your chest to your knee. Then over to the other side. Do the exact same thing here. Grab your calf, pull your chest to your knee. And back to center. And then try to reach your hands out behind you if you can. Then we're going to put our chin on our chest and slowly roll up. Step your feet out even a little bit further, and we're going to get into a side lunge. Stretching out the inside of our legs. And out to the other side. And whenever you're doing this, try not to let your knee go past your toe. Back to center. Back down. We're going to put our chin on our chest. Roll up. And we're just doing that so we don't get lightheaded or anything like that from coming up too fast. And now we're going to get into our warm up here. So we already got our stretches in, so we're going to get moving, get the heart rate going a little bit. We're going to start. You can do full jacks if you want, coming back, or you can do step, basically moving jacks. So you're going to step out, touch, back together, and back. And you're just going to do this. You're going to want to keep on doing this, and you can start that right now. And you want to do that for about 30 seconds. So we got a few different exercises we're going to add in here, and you can add a couple of your own later on. I'll show a few different variations that you can add with that. And, you know, just to get yourself moving, pumped, and ready to go. All right. So the next one after we got that in, we're going to get into high knees. So your high knees, you're just going to raise the knee up, back down, try to get it about waist level. You don't have to drive it all the way up, just about waist. Alright, the next one we got that we're going to do, we're going to do butt kicks. So I'll turn my side a little bit, make it a little easier. You're going to bring your heel back and you're going to try to hit your butt with your heel. If you want, you can add your hand movements with it. And just start slow and controlled, and then you'll build up speed a little bit later. But this will help warm you up. Alright, so after your butt kicks, the next thing we're going to get you into is going to be a leg raise. And all you're going to do with that, you're going to try to keep your heel pressed out. You're just going to go down and back. And after you get all those in, then we're going to grab a drink of water, and then we're going to get ready to get this full workout in. So go grab that drink, get rested, then we'll get right in it. All right, the next thing we're going to get in, we're going to get into our core and plyometrics. We're always going to start with a plyometric exercise when we do this. So in class, I know you do like step-ups, box jumps, or something of that nature. What you can do out here, you can literally just do a vertical jump. So your vertical jump, you're going to have your feet about shoulder width apart, almost like if they were like dead hanging if you were doing a pull-up. And then you're going to hinge at the hips, come down, your hands are going to go back, and you're going to kind of drive your hands up as you do that. If you want, I know a quick tip for if you're doing this inside, on your vertical jumps, you can shoot your hands all the way up, but if you're inside, you might want to keep them down here. Last thing you want to do is come up and punch the ceiling or do something like that. Alright, so we're going to get you into vertical jumps. That's going to be the first one. It's going to be 30 seconds. I'm going to have you do those. And while you're doing those, I'm going to kind of go through everything else in this series here. Alright, so get right into that. Alright, and just remember, whenever you're doing these, there's different modifications for it. If you do have a step at home, you can use those. And just do a step up, step down if you want that, or you have a stair step, use that. If you don't have any of that, you can go up on your tippy toes, driving up when you do that. And that's going to work in your calf and everything too, and be a lot safer on your knees. So all that stuff matters. You just want to make sure that you're really getting that in and actually doing the work there and building. Alright, the next exercise I'm going to have you do is going to be mountain climbers. So I'm going to have you do the 4 mountain climbers with these. And what you're going to do first, you're going to get into a plank position. So I'm going to kind of talk about it up here a little bit just to make it a little bit easier, so for the camera view and everything. But when you're doing a mountain climber, you want to have your hands, your palms right in line with your shoulders when you're doing that. And you want your entire body in line. So you don't want to round your back or anything like that or drop your knees too low. You really just want to be like a board. That's why they call it a plank. Alright, so first things first, you're going to come down here, get in position, and then you're just going to go up and back. Driving your knee towards your arms. And you can modify this one, alternating. Then if you get too tight, you just plank it out. So just remember, when in doubt, you can always plank it out. There's always something you can do with that. You know, you can modify, change it up. You could even do ins and outs if you wanted a higher intensity doing that. But I'll let you guys decide that since I'm not there. Alright, the next thing that we're going to get into is going to be a sit-up. So with your sit-ups, I'm going to have you do crossed arms, and you're just going to come up till your elbows touch your knees. So if you can't do that, I'm still going to have you cross your arms, and you're just going to come up and suck in the belly button as you come up here. So I'll get into some of those. Now, if you have an issue where your feet come off the ground, you have a partner, you can always have them help you hold your feet. Or something I used to use forever ago is a couch. I just stick my feet under the couch, or if you have spare dumbbells, you can stick dumbbells on top of your feet, and that'll help hold them as well. So, doing those, you just want to make sure that you keep at it. You know, practice makes perfect. If you can't do that full sit-up, definitely go into your crunches. The difference between a crunch and a sit-up, sit-ups coming all the way up, touching, back down, back straight line. And with your sit-ups, you leave your low back on the ground, and then you engage your core, and you're just bending through your belly button, basically. All right, so after you get those done, next thing I'm going to have you do, you're going to get right into another great exercise, which is leg raises. So your leg raises, you're going to be on the ground, laying on your back. And if you make a diamond with your hands and put that on your low back, it'll actually help support it, so it'll be a little bit easier for you to do that exercise. So that's really going to help you out in the long run doing this one. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate that one a couple times. So we're going to be here, down, make that diamond, set it up, head down, and up. And while you're doing those exercises, there are other modifications if you want to increase the intensity with that. Another option would be leg raise, reach for the toes. But if you have a bad back, I wouldn't recommend that just because you won't have that extra back support. So just always remember that. And with each of the things we're going over today, except for stretching, is you can go through it 3 times. So, and I'm going to go and show you everything once. Just pull it back. I'll have timestamps in the description below to actually tell you when those are. All right, grab a drink of water and then we'll get on to the resistance. All right, now we're going to get into the resistance training portion of this. So the first exercise we're going to start with actually is going to be push-ups. Now before we get right into this, we're going to be shooting for either 12 to 20 reps. I'm going to keep a time. I'm going to try to keep it close to about 30 seconds is what we're going to do. I'll talk about different modifications in that time and other stuff like that. So first one's push-ups. Whenever you're doing your push-ups, you're going to set up, we're going to do a wide variation of your push-ups. So you're going to be out here on the ground. So you really want your elbow bending at about a 90-degree bend at the bottom. And you're just going to be pushing up and back down from that position. Keep your body in a straight line. And I'll have to get right into that right now, and I'll show the other modifications we got for this push-up. All right, so the first one is your standard wide push-up. Your hands are going to be out, feet out, and you're just going to come down to that 90 and up, keeping your body in a straight line. Now, good modification, you can set your knees on the ground. If it's too hard on your wrist or anything like that, you can also grab dumbbells. So then you're just going to go down and back. And you can do slow and controlled on these to help build that in all aspects there. Or if you want to bump it up, you can always increase the pace as well. Now another option to make your push-up a little bit easier would be to bring your feet out wide or bring them close in together to make it a little bit harder, or even put one leg on the ground and just have the other leg straight and do that exercise that way. So in between each of these, I'm going to have you do about a 30-second rest is what we'll do between everything, just so it gives me a little bit more time to explain the next exercise we got going on. So the next one we got is going to be a regular squat. So feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, if not a little bit further. Body up, core tight. And then what you're going to do, you put your hands up here if you want. That's where I like to have mine when I do it. Different variations. I'll have you get right into the next set. Different variations are going to be prisoner, overhead squats, and later on we do have sumo squats in this workout too. So don't do those right now. All right, so you want to keep all 10 toes straight ahead, hands up, squat down and up. So when you're doing that, you really want to make sure you control it down. So you're here, and up. And at the very top, you're kind of thrusting your hips forward, leaning back just a hair just to activate, keeping your core tight when you're doing this. So it's here, down, up, thrust. Alright, the next thing we're going to get into is going to be back extension. So when we're doing our back extensions, you're basically going to be laying on your stomach, and you're going to have your hands up by your ears, and you're just going to be leaning backwards, trying to bring your chest up off the ground. Your toes are going to be pointed when you do this. Now, if you want to make it harder, you can go from here to here. Different variations like that will help. And I know some of you will consider this one maybe Superman, you might have heard it called before. But we're just going to do the regular back extension from the ground. So you're going to be right down here, just like this, toes pointed, arms up, coming up and back down. And this one's going to help work your middle back and your low back, so it's going to be working both of them. It's going to be really good for you. You know, just keep your body in line, flat, core tight the entire time you're doing this. And with all of our exercise, you want to make sure you're breathing out at the hardest part, so it's out on the way back and on the way down. All right, the next exercise we're going to do is a lunge, and we're going to be doing alternating legs with this. All right, so your lunge, you're going to step forward, lower your knee down, just do a 90, and you don't want your knee going past your toe is what you want to do, and then back up. We're going to be alternating legs doing this. Now, same thing with this, there are other modifications for it. So you can do prisoners. Same idea as before, just different hand position. You can do overhead. Hands up, down, and back. And there's also T lunges where your hands are straight out, down, back, alternating. All right, so after this exercise, we're going to get into our shoulders. So with this one, if you have an object like a gallon of milk, I'd recommend filling it with water or something like that. You can grab that and press it above your head and back down if you want to do that. Now, this exercise I have is a little bit more difficult one. You're actually going to get into a downward dog position, and we're going to be doing V push-ups. So this one here, we're down, up, making that V, and then down and back. And that's going to be working into your shoulders, and it'll take a little bit to get this one down because you really want to try to get that V going. Make sure your core is tight with this one, and try not to round your back as you're doing it as well. It's a little bit harder to do in that position, but with a little bit of practice you'll get it down. All right, next one we got, we're going to get into a glute raise. Okay, so with your glute raise, you can be down on the ground all fours as a modified position. More advanced position, you can do it standing, where you're here, and just bringing your leg up. Now, the other variation, you're down here on the ground, leg out, and up. Now I want you to do half on one side, half on the other side. So you're going to be switching halfway between this one. Make sure you get both in. Unless you're doing two sets, you can do them all on one side, then all on the other on the next time around. That's up to you though. All right, next one we're going to get into, we got our shoulders done. Now we're going to get into triceps, arms, building those up. So we're going to do close push-ups. So these ones are normally a little bit harder. You line up right here when you're in that plank position, but you're lowering your body down. So your elbows kind of come right to your sides, back down and up. So with this one as well, you can go on your knees with it. You can get started in it right now if you'd like. And you can be here, out, same idea, you can go down with your knees. And that'll help build those up as well. So your arms are going to be working as more stabilizer muscles on a lot of the other exercises. But with that close push-up, it's going to be a lot of your tricep being built as well. All right, next exercise, and the last one, we got sumo squats. So you're going to stand out here like this, toes angled at a 45. I like to keep my hands up here. You're just going to squat down to about 90. You just want that 90-degree bend, straight down, up, and thrust your hips out at the top, core tight the entire time. Now, with this one, if you don't feel it on the inside of your legs, you can step out a hair further, or adjust the angle of your feet. If you don't feel it that way, adjust them out a little bit further, and you should be right on it. All right, after that, what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you go grab a drink of water, then we're going to come back and we're going to do a balance portion to cool ourselves off. All right, now we're going to get into balance training. So whenever you do this, there's always modifications you're going to do. So if you're just starting with this, it's good to have a chair or a counter next to you, or even the wall, just put a hand on to help you with. So the first one, get that stuff if you need it. Next thing, you're going to just kind of raise your knee up and hold. So you're going to keep your core tight while you do this, while you hold this up. And you're just going to hold the position. You want to go for about 30 seconds. Good modifications. Tap the foot. And then you're still getting that balance training with this. So I want to always make sure that you have that modification. So if you do get tired, tap down. It'll make it a little bit easier for you. So you're going to do these about 30 seconds each side. And you're going to go through this. Remember, this is the last part of our workout. You're going to be a little bit tired after doing this, but it's going to be worth it. All right, so after you have that balance there, keep your core tight, and you're going to bring it out to the side. Now with this one, you can be here or here up against your leg. So it's going to help you out with it there. It's going to give you a little bit more stability in your leg. And in my classes, I know you would call it Captain Morgan, and that's with his foot on the box. And so you can also do it this way, which is your Captain Morgan stance, I guess. All right, and you remember, 30 seconds each side, core tight while you do this, body up in line, posture up, think of a heroic pose. All right, now the next one you're going to do, this one should be a little bit easier, and it'll help you out with some other balance. Now, we do balance training for the main reason of preventing falls, because you build up all those muscles that you activate when you're trying to catch your balance. So we got to put them in an unstable plane to build them. So you're going to bring your heel out and just up maybe a foot or two above the ground. And you're just going to kind of hold it there. With this one, you do have to lean back slightly and make sure that core is tight while you're doing it as well. And like I said, 30 seconds. Gets too tiring, tap that foot on the ground, and you're still going to be working your balance. All right. So after you get that time in, the next one is going to be a little bit harder. I'll show it at a different angle, but you're going to be here. A good step to do this one first, step 1 foot out, 1 foot back, lean down, and raise your foot up. And kind of keep one hand on your knee like this, and then eventually build it up where you can come straight out and hold your balance just like that. it in, set it down, and then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other leg. You'll always find that one leg is better than the other, but we always want to make sure that we're building up to even ourselves out to give us that good overall strength. So the next one, same idea, knee up, core tight. Remember, if you have a Bosu ball at home, you can always use that to balance as well. It's basically like a half stability ball. Bring it out to the side. And remember to tap down if you get a little too tired, or bring it in just like this, out, and hold. You can put one hand on your core if you need it. And it's always nice to keep your hands in, and that'll actually help your overall balance. If you're flailing your arms, it's going to knock you off balance. It's going to be really hard to hold those positions while you're doing that. So just remember, try to keep them centered if you can, and that's going to be best overall for you. All right, then we're going to take it forward, heel out, core tight. And if you can see this, when I'm doing this one here, I'm actually leaned back just a little bit. And that's just to kind of be a counterbalance when you're doing that one. You know, you want to make sure your weight is somewhat centered to keep that balance. That's going to be activating all the muscles around here and everything. All right, now we're going to go on to that other leg. We're going to be bringing it back behind. So step out, down, back. Now with this one, you can also keep a toe tapped here, and then bring it up for a little bit and set it back down if you're having issues. Otherwise, you can bring it up and up. And set them back down. And that's your workout, guys. Go grab a drink of water, get your stuff, take a shower. Be awesome. Thanks.